Now, we've been talking a lot about climate change, about the impact that we are having on the world around us. Delighted to say we're joined by Professor Emily Shuckburgh from the research team at Cambridge Zero. So you've not had to come too far to be with us today. Lovely to have you here. It's interesting, isn't it? Because most people here, and I suppose in many places around the country, are trying to get that balance right between enjoying the weather but taking the warnings seriously. Do you think that's the case?
No, absolutely. So for many people, I mean, look at them here, having a wonderful time in the sun. But also, as you have been repeatedly stressing, for some people, this is really dangerous, and particularly the elderly, the very young babies and toddlers, women who are pregnant, for example. High heat can be deadly.
And lots of people are having that conversation as well. I spoke to one lady here today who said, I lived through the summer of 1976, there's nothing different. I mean, what do you say to that point of view, saying it's just like something we've experienced, back in the 1970s? How is this different to that?
Yeah, well, so 1976 was a very hot summer, but at the time it was a one-off. And then now we've seen 2003 is a very hot summer, 2006 is a very hot summer, 2018 is a very hot summer, record temperatures here in Cambridge in 2019, and then now this heat wave. It's not a one-off any longer. This is normal, and in fact, actually, it's getting hotter and hotter all the time because of climate change.
Okay, so I suppose the key question with regards to that is, what can we do to change that, and how do we adapt to what's happening? So how do you answer those questions if you can?
Well, the biggest thing that we can do to change that is to stop our emissions of greenhouse gases, because that's what's causing climate change. But also we need to look at how we can adapt to the climate changes that we're experiencing. The sort of heat waves, and you've been saying how difficult it is for schools and hospitals, for example, to cope in these high temperatures. But also we've seen flooding events impacting communities around the UK, causing complete devastation. So that's another impact of climate change that we need to adapt to.
And finally, what do the government need to do? Because you speak to ministers a lot, we speak to them on this programme, and you tend to hear the same sorts of things. Do you think the importance and the seriousness is sinking in at that level?
No, it's the simple answer.
How do you change that?
I'm saying, and I say that as a climate scientist who's studied the climate for 30 years, and we've been warning about the risks of climate change for 30 years. Really, this government and governments around the world have to take it seriously. We have to reduce our emissions rapidly if we're to avoid dangerous climate change.